Live in its 30th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from Beaumont, Texas, it's the Beaumont PBA Doubles Classic. In our first game of the Scotch Doubles Format Finals, we'll see the team of Tony Westlake and Dave Ferraro. Their opponents will be three-time doubles champions Mike Albee and Steve Cook. The winning team will face third-seeded Mark Thayer and Dave D'Entremont. Also looking for their first win will be Phil Ringener and Steve Hoskins. Our tournament leaders will be seeking their 7th and 3rd PBA titles respectively, Del Ballard and Bob Benoit. And that's our outstanding field of 5 doubles teams for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. The professional bowlers have journeyed deep into the heart of Southeast Texas to the city of Beaumont for the finals of the PBA Doubles Classic. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. Behind me, a magnificent museum dedicated to the achievements and memory of the world's greatest woman athlete, Babe Didrikson Zaharias. She was born in this area, daughter of a ship's carpenter. As a youngster, she vowed to become the best athlete, man or woman, in her neighborhood, and she certainly did that. In 1932, at the Los Angeles Olympic Games, she won 2 gold medals, 80-meter hurdles and the javelin, setting records in both. She mastered tennis, baseball, softball, and yes, even bowling. After worldwide fame, because of the Olympics, she took up golf. Throughout her career, she won a total of 82 amateur and professional tournaments, including 3 United States Women's Open titles, 4 World Championships. She qualified for the Men's Open twice. As an amateur, she won 17 consecutive tournaments over a 13-month span. What a babe. I had the pleasure of seeing Babe play a golf exhibition in New Jersey in the early 50s. She was so graceful, flamboyant, colorful, and oh so talented on that 5'7", 115-pound frame. 1953, diagnosed with colon cancer, had surgery. Yet in 1954, she won the United States Women's Open title the 3rd time by a 12-shot margin. She lost the big battle in 1956, dying at the age of 42. Here in Beaumont at Crossroads Bowling Center is my colleague, son of a Texas champion. Here's Nelson Burton Jr.
Thank you, Chris. The Babe was a childhood friend of my father's. He went to grade school with the Babe. He went to high school with the Babe. And my father told me, he says that Babe Dickerson, the Harrius, could beat almost everybody at everything. Now we're back in her hometown, Beaumont, Texas, for the PBA doubles. And this is the only time we have doubles on ABC television. The format's a little bit different. There are 10 players instead of 5. Each player bowls 5 frames on one lane. His partner bowls 5 frames on the other lane. Cumulative score, match play style, 1 game each team. Now the scores are very good in doubles play, and this week has been no exception. It has been very conducive to high scores, as we had a record 18 perfect games rolled here this week in Beaumont, Texas. The old record was 16 rolled in Glendale Heights last year. Also, Walter Ray Williams Jr., who didn't even make the top 5, averaged a record 254 for his 12 games in the qualifying. Now let's look at how the players are attacking this week's championship pair. The PBA has put oil down the lanes 41 feet this week. There is oil all in the center, and they've done it both by hand and by machine. They've left the back 19 feet very dry. Now this allows the players a lot of lines to the pocket. The straight players, the right-handers, are playing right off the edge, going over the first arrow into the 1-3 pocket. The power right-handed players are playing more towards the center, out towards the second arrow, flirting with the gutter, then snapping the ball into the 1-3 pocket. Our left-handed duo, Albee and Cook, will be playing somewhere around the second arrow, swinging out and into the 1-2 pocket. Very conducive to high scores.
And the second half of ABC's 1-2 Punch, Wide World of Sports, same-day coverage of the Advil Mini Marathon. That, of course, originating from New York City. That shot from New York's Central Park. Plus, the broadcast premiere of one of the year's most controversial fights as former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson takes on Razor Ruddock. That's all next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, and of course there will be interviews with both heavyweights. A total of 142,500 And 28 goes to the winner, 14-5, 1083, and 7,000 to the losing team here in the first match. And it's Tony Westlake and Dave Ferraro who go against Mike Albee and Steve Cook. Westlake up first, Bo.
Chris, as I said right there at the top, Westlake will only bowl 5 frames. He can get zeroed on this lane, has nothing to worry about the other lane.
So he starts his team out in grand fashion. Up first now for the Albee Cook combination. 3-time PBA doubles champions. They have been tremendous.
Albee struggled in the early qualifying, averaging around 215, which normally would get you the top 5, but this week the scores have been fabulously high. His partner, Steve Cook, close to 240 all week.
They won their titles 85, 86, and in 1989. Mike is 5'8", 160, brother-in-laws, married sisters. Steve is 6'7", 265 pounds. His first telecast here in 1991. With a huge arc and a powerful ball. Nothing but strikes thus far.
Chris, I came in during the qualifying Thursday night. Now, each player bowled 42 games. Each team actually bowled 84 games to get into the championship round. And as you see, we're playing what we call the Scotch doubles format. Ferraro, the partner, Westlake, up in the right lane, second frame.
Well, tough break for Dave Ferraro, leaving the 8-pin on this right lane here at Crossroads in Beaumont, Texas.
Ferraro and Westlake, very similar styles, upright styles. Both players established champions, good clutch players. Loft the ball well over the foul line.
Very consistent. Dave Ferraro, the 1990 Firestone Tournament of Champions winner. And now his roommate, Tony Westlake from Edmond, Oklahoma. Quiet, cool exterior. Hanging it on the channel, keeping it in play, though, Bo.
That's it, Chris. They're threatening the channel because, as we saw in the championship pair profile, there's a little heavier concentration of oil down the centers. You see Albee playing just about the middle, swing it out over the second arrow. And that allows the players to have a little pull area and some extra swing area, big scores.
Oh, yes. Indianapolis's Mike Albee.
Watch the action of the head pin. It'll go to the sideboard behind the 3-6, trip out the 9-pin. Here comes the 3 forward. 3-pound 6 and 7-ounce pins here, Chris, and as one of the reasons the scores have been so high, lively pin actions, especially flying across the lane horizontally.
Could take a 30-pin lead here. Ten-pin, first of the afternoon.
When I came in Thursday evening to watch some of the action, the players were just 250, 260, 250, and I think that you're going to have a combined score of a 235 or better to have any chance to win any game today, unless one particular player would happen to get, quote, lost on a particular lane. The scores should be excellent.
The man that won his first title in the Ford Open in Alameda in 1979. All right, and Ford is still with us. Okay. We'll be back after this message.
So I'm standing in the checkout line, and this really attractive woman sees I have Kellogg's brand flakes. And she says,
"Buying that for your father?"
"Come on, they taste terrific. That's why I eat Kellogg's brand flakes. It's a nutty, toasted wheat taste, and they're Kellogg's." So I turned to this woman. I looked her straight in the eye, and I said, yeah, they're for Dad." K-E-double-L-O double good. Kellogg's brand flakes. Toasted taste to you.
Personnel, please.
7th floor.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
The results are in. Thompson's House and Deck Stain waterproofs better than even the leading brand's premium stain. Because only Thompson Stain contains Thompson's Water Seal. It waterproofs and beautifies in one easy step. Thompson Stain. Seal water out, seal color in.
Here's to you, America, for being strong, for coming through. We send our best to you. Nothing beats our best, Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers. Nothing beats a Bud.
The PBA Doubles Classic is underway here in Beaumont, Texas, Crossroads Bowling Center. Dave Ferraro and his partner, Tony Westlake, are 19 pins down. They are down that number of pins to Mike Albee and Steve Cook in our first match of the telecast.
Players warmed up for about an hour before the championship round. As you watch the shot of Ferraro coming precariously close to the edge, then breaking a little bit late, doesn't quite take out the 7 pin as the head pin gets caught up between the 4 and the 7.
Okay, Dave Ferraro of Kingston, New York, 5-time champion, including the Firestone. He and his partner, Tony Westlake, at whom you're looking, 17-7, their record in match play. Tony's 19th television appearance, first of this year, and that's unusual to go this late and not have him on.
Hits light and bounces those pins around. We're using synthetic lanes today, Brunswick synthetic lanes with phenolic pin decks, 3-pound, 6-ounce pins, ideal scoring condition, and the players are proving that out in the early going.
Mike Albee became the second left-hander to earn over $1 million after Earl Anthony earned $1,344,000.
Albee with that low profile, shooting right up the lane. You can see him stretching out over the foul line. Now with the action of the head pin, watch it go to the sideboard and just flies horizontally right across the pin deck, taking out the 7. That is what has accelerated the scores to the new heights. Now to take a 29-pin lead, Cook up on the left-hand lane.
Oh, yes. There's Steve's dad cheering him on.
Chris, that looks like one of those pinball machines. You know, when you get a certain score, they shoot an extra ball into the pinball machine. It looks like there's 11 or 12 pins down there. Fabulous pin action. This is a key shot for Ferraro. He's the only player that has failed to strike so far in the championship match.
Oh, finally got a break. Dave Ferraro.
Well, that gets him off the hook. Psychologically, watch the 2 pin, the 3rd pin on the left-hand part of your screen. It'll go between the 4 and 7. Tap out the 7, out comes the 4, and it gets Ferraro off the hook. You always feel a little extra pressure when you're letting your partner down. Now Westlake has a chance to close that lead of Cook's down to 9 pins with a strike.
So, Tony Westlake and Dave Ferraro are coming back as they go against Mike Albee and Steve Cook here in the PBA Doubles Classic in Beaumont.
Kelly LeBrock reveals the essence of man.
Hard to define, easy to know. It's in the way he holds a drink, the way he wears his clothes, the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he smiles, looks, and kisses. And when he holds you close, it's in the way he smells. Brute, the essence of man. Come on, put it on.
Kentucky Fried Chicken asked this man to help prove how irresistible our new honey barbecue wings taste. Just look at those tender, juicy wings, prepared with our savory barbecue sauce and sweetened with just the right touch of honey. For a limited time only, new honey barbecue wings from Kentucky Fried Chicken. So irresistible, the experts are already buzzing about it. In fact, they're spreading the news.
Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock. Witness their controversial heavyweight war. Plus the Advil Mini Marathon, all next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Yes, on Wide World, Tyson Ruddock, broadcast premiere, and there will be interviews with both heavyweights. All right, here are two heavyweights in the world of bowling. Great champion, Mike Albee. Incredible. 19 titles. Oh, that gives them a three-bagger and a much-needed strike. Bo, here's Nelson.
Thank you, Chris. Dave D'Entremont, Mark Thayer, you're in the next game. How'd you guys choose each other as a partner, Dave?
Oh, 2 years ago in St. Louis, Friday night, we were just talking and the subject of doubles come up, and neither one of us really had a partner, so we decided to bowl together.
Been a good team so far, Mark. You think it's your styles that make you so compatible?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We can line up off each other, and that helps quite a bit, so especially in doubles tournament.
All right, Chris, two power players will challenge the winner of this match.
All right, the biggest man in the doubles classic, Steve Cook, has followed up with a strike, as Albee had done just before him, and now their lead is back to 29. It had dropped to 9 because last time up, Ferraro had his first strike of the match. He and Tony Westlake. Now, with 3 in a row, shooting in the 8th frame of our very first game. Ferraro. All right. Lots of body English being applied out here this afternoon. And D'Entremont and Thayer are warming up.
Right now, looking at the high-scoring possibilities, the Westlake team can shoot a 260 game. Albee and Cook right now already going at a 240 pace, so it behooves both teams to keep striking. The match is still up for grabs. So disappointing, a solid 10, and he really needed that to keep the pressure on Cook and Albee. Here's probably his best shot so far of the match. He sends it out to about the second board. The 6-pin jumps right around the 10. The team has carried a bunch of off hits, light and high hits, and a really solid hit has really failed him here in the 9th frame. They still have a chance. He has to convert.
Tony Westlake, who has 2 titles to his credit. Last year had a big year, 5 telecasts, 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, and 4th. Now Albee, 4th telecast of 1991. And the lefty coming in for today has 31,000 earned, far below his average. Oof.
Well, Albee struggles with his confidence in the same way with Steve Cook has had some mechanical problems. Steve's been muscling the ball, and Mike Albee a little low on his confidence, but right now they can build their confidence. If Steve Cook marks here in the 10th, they will win the first match.
I think I'd like to bowl in this house all the time. I like the way we get reaction here.
Chris, your 177 average would quickly jump to about 190. I have seen and been around this sport for most all my 48 years, and this pin action is the best I have ever seen. Steve Cook asking for a pin to be removed from the channel, and it would be 0 if he throws the ball, Chris, with the pin still in place. See it in the left-hand channel?
Mm-hmm. See it down there in the channel. And, Bo, this is a very attractive modern facility.
That it is. 2.5 years old. One of 2 bowling centers in Beaumont, Texas. Possible 279 for Cook and Albee to open the championship match round. Solid 8, but they'll be the 268. The best Westlake and Ferraro can bowl are 239. This is the kind of action we've seen all week long.
So now it's Steve Cook. Already the handshakes from the runners up. Okay, Albee and Cook, they have won it over Ferraro and Westlake. First match, second coming up. D'Entremont and Thayer against the victors.
The final duel of the Triple Crown, live next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Budweiser salutes the guys who take the heat. America's unsung heroes are celebrated in the film Backdraft. Firefighters, this Bud's for you.
Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
He hired a stranger to give him a baby.
I'm a family man.
Then she tried to take it away.
Everybody's talking about mother's rights. What about father's rights?
Baby M, starting Sunday.
Honey, we're talking grounds for divorce.
It's so bad you can taste it. The sticky, pasty film inside your mouth.
It's pretty bad. Ugh.
You wake up with every morning of your life. Morning breath.
I'll be right back.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Antiseptic Scope kills on contact 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Come and get it. I'm all yours.
Suck her up, sweetie pie.
Antiseptic Scope. It's the best thing first thing in the morning.
Your kiss is ready.
Air Seal has always been committed to quality and selection, but now add innovation to that list with the grand opening of the Air Seal Glass City showroom. It's a totally new concept designed to help you create the home of your dreams. 3 completely landscaped patio rooms, wood decks, patio furniture, hot tubs, brick patios, walkways, landscaping, and one of Toledo's largest selection of windows and doors. Imagine the possibilities. Visit the Air Seal Glass City showroom at 2219 Lasky Road, just west of Miracle Mile.
25 years and still going strong. At 24, we're talking Toledo.
The Professional Bowler Spring Tour is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By Choice Hotels International. And by Old Spice Fragrance and Aftershave. Cool, crisp, and unmistakably masculine. Old Spice.
Here at Crossroads Bowling Center in Beaumont, Texas, our first doubles match has ended. Mike Albee, Steve Cook, who have won 3 titles before, winning at 268 to 225, and now they move up against Mark Thayer and Dave D'Entremont in our second match. There you see Thayer up getting that blue bowling ball ready. And meanwhile, off to our right, some of the others that'll be bowling a little bit later continue to practice.
This is a team, the Thayer D'Entremont team, power players to the maximum.
Mark Thayer of Lafayette, Indiana, leaving the 10-pin. 4th telecast in his career, this 33-year-old who worked a long time for the Fairfield Gear Company in Lafayette.
His wife flew down for the championship round today, and I'm sure his 2 boys are back in Indiana rooting for their daddy today.
Yeah, Brian and Sean back there, and Kathy here watching the man at work, Mark, come up with a spare.
Albee and Cook going with the same lineup they had before. They could alternate their lineup, but Cook hit the other lane so well, and Albee this lane, so they're staying with the same thing.
Leaving a 7-pin.
Chris, I don't really think there's an advantage so much as winning a game on an easy lane condition as it is in a tough lane condition. These lanes are so easy for the top pros to hit the pocket, as you see Albee leaving the soft 7, that the pair of Thayer and D'Entremont are not at a complete disadvantage. On a real tough lane condition where 180 or 190 is a good game, the previous winner has a tremendous advantage because he can feel his way around. Here the pocket's easy to hit.
Mike Albee, PBA Rook of the Year in 79, PBA Player of the Year in 85. Now, Steve Cook, his partner, and his brother-in-law. So, Bo, it's interesting. They won 3 PBA doubles titles from the top seed.
They were the top seed after the 42 games by each player, or 84 games, and they won 2 of those championships in Las Vegas. Now, this is a different bowling center, Beaumont, Texas. First time we've ever been here, so it still remains to be seen if they can go all the way through the field. Very tough on a high-scoring condition. Now, D'Entremont, first shot, second frame, this pair.
Leaving a 5-8.
These PBA championship lanes were oiled in 2 different manners, a little bit differently than we have during the regular season. They oiled them with a spray gun and then ran a machine over them, as they normally do in house conditions, as you see the 5-8. And that makes them a little more uniform, so both lanes should be about the same, but 16 is a little bit slicker or tighter.
Dave D'Entremont, non-winner on the PBA Tour, but holder of 7 regional titles. Tomorrow on ABC Sports at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific, a trip to the championship game is on the line as the London Monarchs tackle New York, New Jersey in a World League playoff game. Then at 4 Eastern, 3 Central Pacific, Indy winner Rick Mears in a field of Cart's top drivers take the track in Milwaukee. At the Miller Genuine Draft 200, and for Mark Thayer of Lafayette, Indiana, his first strike of the day. There they are, the team.
Doubles bowling is so psychological. Each player wants to help the other one out, actually puts pressure on himself. As you see, Albee and Cook, who have just been magnificent in the first game, bowling 268, lead this match by 2 pins, can extend to 12, third frame.
A little animation by, Mike Albee, whose wife Tammy and son Christopher in town. Tammy not feeling too sharp, but that strike probably made her feel better back in the hotel.
You're right, Chris. Now watch how Cook does it. He drifts to the center, then swings the ball out over the second arrow. Walks to the left. Come on now, baby. His first really wild shot of the day. He hung up in the ball in the first frame he bowled in the first game. Got a strike. That particular shot was just right of his target. Leaves the 4-7-8 spare.
Meanwhile, Candy Cook, back in California with her 3 children, Tammy's sister, watched the spare by her husband, Steve. More following this.
Reserve a room at any choice hotel like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep, and get this fabulous coupon book absolutely free. You'll save at places like Alamo Rent-A-Car, Red Lobster, and theme parks, a value of over $1,000. Yeah! So call for your coupon book today.
Bye-bye.
Vanna White not included. Oh. Call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve your room and free coupon book. Supplies are limited.
It's not easy to pull yourself away from a bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. For a few scoops of raisins taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave them behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good to throw yourself away. 2 scoops of Raisin Bran flakes of bran. Get every bite you can of those 2 scoops that taste too good to throw yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops.
Bowling's greatest legends roll into Las Vegas looking to strike it rich. It's the Showboat Senior Invitational on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Yes, we invite you to join us next Saturday from Showboat for the Senior Invitational. All the great seniors that were with us when we started this series, some of them were, 30 years ago. Dave D'Entremont, Parma, Ohio. Bo?
Thank you, Chris. The pair that's in the semifinals, Ringner and Hoskins. Phil, any particular game plan as you go into a semifinal?
Well, I hope we just try to bowl 1 frame at a time, and hopefully we'll
make good shots, and we need a lot of strikes, it looks like.
Steve, same thing for you. How about the game plan? What do you think?
Strikes and strikes only.
Well, they got the right attitude, Chris. It's going to take a lot of strikes. We'll see them in the next game. Back to you.
That's right. Thayer and D'Entremont now are realizing strikes, a three-bagger, which gives them an 11-pin lead after trailing. Now, Mike Albee is up, shooting in the fifth frame. Spare working for he and his partner, Cook. Broke up the 7-10.
You see the ball cutting in, driving the 5 in front of the 10-pin. The 6-pin just barely bumps out the 10, avoiding the 7-10 split. Cook and Albee. This match is right up for grabs as they trail by 12 pins if he converts here in the 5th.
Our second match, the winning team, winning pair today will receive $28,000.
Now here's the man that has carried this team all the way. The first 3 days he averaged almost 245. Steve Cook breaking out of his slump. It's important that he keeps striking on the left-hand lane.
Steve Cook from Roseville, California. The winner of the 1986 U.S. Open, the 1981 Firestone. So he and his brother-in-law partner, they are in line to become Triple Crown winners.
Both of them have a chance. Now, Dave D'Entremont, great strike ball up in the 6, can extend his team's lead to 22 with a strike.
They have a strong 4. There's Sylvia. D'Entremont enjoying it.
And Sylvia and Kathy Thayer, speaking of a victory before we went on this, Carrie, who just flew into town to watch her husband bowl this doubles match, they were talking victory today. She says it's about time. So let's see what happens. 7th frame.
Mark's wife, Kathy, works with a psychiatric clinic in Lafayette, so she knows how to motivate. All right, we'll be back.
If you're using non-aspirin pain relievers, there's something new you should know about from Bear. New Bear Plus with Stomach Guard. It's got it all. Bear Plus has Bear aspirin for powerful pain relief. To bang back headaches, muscle aches, and minor arthritis pain. And New Bear Plus has more. Stomach Guard to help prevent stomach upset. So bang pain back with New Bear Plus. The wonder drug worth changing to. It's tough on pain, gentle on your stomach.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for, to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick.
No better way to face the day. By minute, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. By minute.
Mike Tyson, Razor Ruddock. Witness their controversial heavyweight war, plus the Advil Mini Marathon, all next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
That was Wide World, of course. Don't forget Tyson Ruddock and interviews with both. And here, two heavyweights, Jeff Russell, Executive Director, Beaumont Convention Visitors Bureau, and Bill Proctor, President of Crossroads Bowling Center. Two good guys, showed us around. We thank them.
Albee really struggling on the right-hand lane has been the difference in this match. His team was trailing by 32. He could have cut the lead of Thayer and D'Entremont to 22, but he's been high light, and here he goes right up in the nose, leaves the 2-4-7. Absolutely mandatory that he make this spare and hope that Cook can carry him through to the 10th frame.
Their victory, 268 to Ferraro and Westlake, 225. You know, this bowling is so fast. One of the things we try to do is never talk after the ball is released. Well, this is so fast we find ourselves talking while the ball's rolling. You're going to have to get a little faster, Bo.
You're right. Well, they're throwing them down there about 20 miles an hour, and those pins keep moving around for a long time, so we can be forgiven. But this is a key shot for Steve Cook right now, 8th frame.
Well done. Steve Cook, we mentioned Albee with 19 championships during his career. Well, Steve has been no slouch with 14.
Albee still looking for that 20th championship to become the 7th player in PBA history to win 20 championships. Now, for a man who's never seen the winner's circle, Dave D'Entremont, he can really put the pressure on the Albee Cook team with a strike here in the 8th frame.
So there is a 10-pin to the man that last year earned $38,880 already this year, and it's May, June, $38,683, ahead of schedule.
Well, Chris, he's a good-looking player. Last year, he got pneumonia right at the beginning of the season, right after the Pinole Valley tournament, which he led and lost to Ernie Schlegel, lost 15 pounds and never really got it back together. So he looks pretty sharp for 1991. Needs a little more confidence, and he'll be right there. Now, the two teams are going at a pace 237 for Thayer D'Entremont, a possible 236 for the Cook duo. Now you see how Thayer is playing the lanes. He's playing around the center. He'll slide right in this area. Start over the second arrow, swing it out right near the edge. 9th frame.
Mark Thayer. Big smile on his face and that of D'Entremont. Not so Cook and Albee, though, Bo.
Chris, you picked it out. Absolutely mandatory that Albee strike on this ball. They cannot win if Albee doesn't strike. The pressure's on.
A 10-pin, 268 victory over Ferraro and Westlake in the first game. Ferraro and Westlake shooting at 225.
See our players looking more and more to the right as they're checking the scoreboard. You see Albee's shot coming in light, fails to take out the 10-pin. The best this team can shoot is 216. The Thayer D'Entremont team's already at 237 pace.
Steve Cook hanging in there.
Well, a real plus out of this tournament for Steve Cook is he's been mired in his worst slump of his career, a man who has averaged over $4,000 per paycheck in his career on the PBA Tour. He's bowled over 370 tournaments, cashed over 180 of those times, and he has been in a slump, as his dad says, okay, son, you're out of the slump. Let's just get as much as we can today. It looks like a 4th place finish.
Well, it was a big first game for that team, 268. So it's a 206. 1991 average leaders, Norm Duke going to the top over Pete Weber, Walter Ray, Mike Miller, and Del Ballard Jr., whom you'll see a little bit later here on our telecast.
D'Entremont just finishing. Possible 257.
Okay, today, Bo Burton, in his bowling tip of the week, he shows you and talks about rhythm and timing on your approach. Very informative. Watch and listen.
ABC Sports Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
All bowlers, including myself, sooner or later have rhythm or timing problems. It feels terrible when you get to the foul line, and you don't score very well when you're out of rhythm. Now, there's two types of rhythm problems, early rhythm and late rhythm. Early rhythm occurs when you get to the foul line and the ball is already there and you pull it left to your target. It feels like there's no power and it's hard to be accurate. To solve this problem, hold the ball much higher in the push-away position. This will allow you to have a much longer swing, and you get to the foul line right in sync. The second type occurs when you have late rhythm problems. The body's to the line, but the ball's not there. You miss to the right, sometimes it feels good, but you never get up to the head pin. To solve this problem, hold the ball much lower in your push-away position. This will shorten the swing and get you right back on time. So remember, if you have early push-away problems or late push-away problems, you can solve all these rhythm problems by holding it higher in the push-away or lower in the push-away.
Freedent's the one. Only one gum leads the way when you've got dental work, and that's Freedent. Freedent won't stick to your dental work, so you can be confident chewing it. And because it also moistens your mouth and freshens your breath, Freedent's in a class by itself.
Freedent's the one that took the stink out of gum, and Freedent moistens your mouth. Yeah, moistens your mouth and freshens your breath while you chew.
Non-stick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
Do yourself proud, make you look beautiful, do it for yourself with Minwax and Wood.
Get beautiful color with Minwax Wood Finish and lasting protection with Minwax Polyurethane.
So do yourself proud with Minwax and Wood.
I'll put you next to Ted.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree Antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection, and Score More. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Okay. Thank you, Bo, for that tip. Here's our tournament summary thus far in Beaumont, Texas. Match 1, Mike Albee and Steve Cook defeated Tony Westlake and David Ferraro, 268 to 225. Then in step Indiana's Mark Thayer and Ohio's Dave DeEntremont, 246 to Albee and Cook's 206. So our next match coming up, Hoskins and Ringener against Thayer and DeEntremont in our semifinal match. First time the PBA, our telecast, has originated, Bo, in Beaumont, Texas.
You're right, Chris. The crowd has turned out, has enjoyed the scoring. 18,300 games this week. That's fantastic.
And we were talking about what a beautiful facility Crossroads happens to be, and bowling has changed so much since we've both been in it for so many years, and there are always changes happening on the horizon. Anything new?
Well, in our bowling news, Chris, we see that two cities, St. Louis and Reno, have proposed bowling stadiums. Now, basically, these are arenas that the cities would like to build for 70 or 80 lanes to hold like 3,000 spectators. Use them for national tournaments, maybe a PBA event, maybe one of our major tournaments would be there. I think it could be used by both the professionals and the amateurs. It'd be great to see one of these cities get a stadium such as that.
Well, I think you remember way back we did finals on a special pair of lanes at Madison Square Garden and also in Mobile, Alabama. So anything special, I think, is good and exciting and challenging for the best bowlers in the world.
You're right, Chris. And a man who that you knew years ago, one of the great players, you have a little profile on him, and he'd love to bowl in one of these stadiums. Tell us about Andy Verapapa.
Well, Andy Verapapa could do anything. He can even do wonderful things with two bowling balls at one time. Watch Andy Verapapa. The late Andy Verapapa is best known for winning back-to-back 100-game All-Star tournaments at the age of 55. Andy also was the only player to throw 9 consecutive strikes on jackpot bowling, and this he accomplished at age 68. Always a showman, Andy served as a coach for a number of the tour's greatest talents in the early years of the PBA. Andy Verapapa. Okay, and doing incredible things. We're in Beaumont, which, as we documented at the beginning of our telecast, the hometown of Babe Didrikson Zaharias, greatest woman athlete that ever lived in golf alone, 82 tournament victories. And, of course, she knew Andy Verapapa and vice versa. And like you said, your dad, and, of course, another of our heroes, Byron Nelson, up in Roanoke, Texas. He knew Babe well, played often with her, and admired her. So here now at somebody that's trying to make a big name for himself, Phil Ringener, of Big Spring, Texas. Leaving a 4-pin.
Ringener, the only player of this quartet that doesn't really have a power shot. He's a down and in player, uses speed control and angle control to control the pocket. It's been a very effective all week long. His partner, Steve Hoskins, had a chance to set an all-time 8-game record yesterday. He was averaging more than 270 for his first 7 games. We'll see him next.
Phil is 32 years old from Big Spring. This year, he was 7th at the Leisure Long Island Open.
Now D'Entremont, who had 3 strikes out of 6 frames in their victory over Cook and Albee, up on the right-hand lane, first frame.
And right off, a 310 on the right lane.
The first split of the day for any of the players, as you see D'Entremont with a little flip over the foul line. Watch him flip this ball on the upswing. See him flipping out over the line, hooks it too much, has the 3-6 baby split, needs to get the ball between the 3-pin, drive it into the 10.
Just went by the 3.
Statistician Butch Soper tells us this is the first open frame we've had all day long, as it's been a strike-a-thon. You see D'Entremont just missing the 3-pin, knocks out the 10, has opened the door for the opponents. Now let's see if his partner Thayer can pick him up on the left-hand lane.
Leaving a 7-pin on the left.
That's a case there that the pin action was just too good, and after they had lost to Hoskins and Ringener in the match play, there's really no psychological carryover because the players almost forget about it. Remember, both these players bowled 42 games, 84 altogether.
All right, now we look at 5'5" Steve Hoskins of Tarpon Spring, Florida. 22 years old, decided that he'll go back to college and study medicine, Bo.
Might be a great idea. Right now his bowling ball is doing his talking right now. He's got a PhD in bowling going for him. The 10. As I came in yesterday morning, Chris, 289, 279, 268, 279. As you see the pin action of Hoskins, just cuts right through. He saws that 6-pin off, doesn't quite take off the 10. And going into the last and 8th game yesterday afternoon, he needed a 280 to break Billy Hardwick's all-time record.
He knew at the line that he blew that one.
And ironically, a couple of things. The 10-pin was he missed in the 7th game of that series is one of the reasons that he didn't break the record. And secondly, the approaches can give you a little bit of trouble on the synthetic lanes. You see him sliding sideways at the approach, has opened the door for his opponents.
Horrible strike by Phil Ringener.
Neither one of these players has ever won a PBA championship, and so I think just even being in the semifinal, I think they're looking a little bit ahead. If I can win this game, I got a chance at the title. That's not the way you win championships. They happen one frame at a time. Bear down, work on your game. Now, D'Entremont, 3rd frame.
Remember in their last victory over Albee and Cook, 246-206. Much of that success to this Hoosier, Mark Thayer. Back in Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis, Kevin Cogan coming along after surgery on his right leg and right arm. We mentioned him because we admire him and he is a friend, but his father owns a bowling establishment, Gable House, where we do our first telecast each year. AC Delco.
And Kevin has been in the PBA Bowling Center, has had an interview with you over the years on ABC, but we see Mark Thayer right here struggling a little bit in the 4th frame. went high, leaves the 6-pin. His team leads by 1 pin, which is kind of unusual because both teams are struggling at a 188 pace.
So next year, Kevin Cogan at the Indy 500, I'm sure will do a lot better. Pleasure Island, Harbor Pier, one of the scenic sites here in Beaumont.
Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
So, I'm having breakfast with my buddies, and I order Kellogg's Bran Flakes. And right away, Scott says, "Problem, Dad?" Truth is, Kellogg's Bran Flakes taste terrific. It's this nutty, toasted wheat taste, and hey, come on, right, they're Kellogg's, right? So, I lean over to Scott, look him right in the eye, and I say, "Did you know a spoon can be a deadly weapon?" Whoa! Yeah. Hey, double O, double good, Kellogg's Bran Flakes, toasted taste to you.
A trip to the championship game is on the line when the London Monarchs tackle the Knights. It's do or die in the World League playoff tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Of course, ABC's Wide World of Sports follows us. Advil Mini Marathon from New York City. That's one part of the show. Then the broadcast premiere of Tyson Ruddick, heavyweight fight with interviews, both fighters. Here's a stocky fellow, Steve Hoskins. After an open frame, he gets that strike, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Our tournament leaders, Del Ballard, Bob Benoit, proven champions. They will bowl somebody who's never been to the winner's circle. Del, you have any surprises for these fellows when you bowl them in the championship game?
No, not really. I'm just going to try to go out and be aggressive like I have all week and try to make the best shot that I possibly can. I don't think it's going to matter that we're bowling non-champions. The lanes have offered high scores all week. I think they will today, too.
How about you, Bob? Any prediction of a final score necessary to win?
Well, I'm going to say it's going to take probably 240 or 250 to win, but when we shoot 300 at him, I think that should win.
Here's a man who's already shot 300 in the championship round, Chris. The last man to do it. He predicts one in the championship game. Coming up next. Back to you.
And D'Entremont trying to bring his team back. They're down 19. Now that's their second strike. And this is their second match of the afternoon. And Mark Thayer, his partner, is quickly up. Fast-moving action here in the PBA Doubles Classic in Beaumont. Now you can cut that Ringener Hoskins lead to 9 with a strike right here.
Big shot for Thayer. He has failed to strike so far in this game.
Both wives, Sylvia and Kathy. Sylvia D'Entremont and Kathy Thayer.
Watch the action of the head pin, the power ball of Thayer. It goes to the left sideboard. You'll see the 10 pin standing. Here comes the head pin, rolling across. Just enough impetus. Take out the 10, keep that team in the match. Now Hoskins up in the 7.
Well, he doesn't back off. Now they have a 4 in a row. Hoskins and Ringener.
Well, this team was steady all week long. Hoskins had the real hot hand yesterday, averaging more than 250 for the whole day. Ringener, a good, solid partner, bowls well on any lane condition. Right now, they have a 19-pin lead, can make it 29, 7th frame.
Split is gone, but the 3-6-10 to the 32-year-old bowler from Big Spring, Texas. Had some great finishes. Nelson second, the Brunswick World Open. Second, Rochester. 5th in the Bud Tournament Players. It's really been close.
He's been kind of unlucky. His opponents in his championship rounds, as you see the 3-6-10, have averaged more than 228 at him. So things got to turn around for Phil Ringener. big trouble there. An open frame at this point takes the Ringener lead, which could have been more than 30-some pins. Watch the 3-pin go straight back, hit off the kickback, take out the 10, but not the 6. They could have had a 30-pin lead. Now it's down to just 4 pins.
All right, we're in our third game or semifinal game of our ABC Sports format here of the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. We'll have more following this.
Reserve a room at any choice hotel like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep, and get this fabulous coupon book absolutely free. You'll save at places like Alamo Rent-A-Car, Red Lobster, and theme parks, a value of over $1,000. Yeah! So call for your coupon book today.
Bye-bye.
Vanna White not included. Oh. Call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve your room and free coupon book. Supplies are limited.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for: to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick.
No better way to face the day. By minute, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. By minute.
Bowling's greatest legends roll into Las Vegas looking to strike it rich. It's the Showboat Senior Invitational on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
That's right, next Saturday, Las Vegas Showboat Senior Invitational. Don't miss it. Same time, same station.
Now, D'Entremont, with 2 strikes working, can take the lead in the 7th if he can strike. All sorts of trouble, huh, Chris? The 3, 6, 9, 10. You see the basic mistakes that non-winners make under pressure. They continue to pull the ball. Well, he needs to get the ball in this area, take out the 3, 6, let the ball carry back into the 9, 10. A very difficult spare. We saw Ringener miss a combination similar to this in his 7th frame.
Beautifully done. Parma, Ohio's gift to the Professional Bowlers Tour, David D'Entremont, 29 years old.
A way to correct pulling the ball under pressure is to get a little more extension, a little more follow-through. That keeps you from hitting the ball and lifting it too soon, a little bit anxious. So give it that necessary room, because if you get it wide, it'll strike. Mark there, 8th frame.
Leaving us 6-10. Amazing. These partners both finished second at Pinole in California. Mark, not quite as dramatic as David.
No, you're right. David D'Entremont, who led the tournament, lost to Schlegel. And Mark Thayer also led the tournament and struggled somewhat as D'Entremont looks to the scoreboard saying, we're in trouble, but the match is still within 10 pins. Make that 21 pins. It's amazing. As many strikes as they threw all week long, Chris, still it's coming down to spares.
So now Steve Hoskins. Youngest in our field today at 22 years of age.
The parents of Mr. Hoskins there, they're very proud of their son. They came in from Florida. Steve's mom and dad rooting for his son. They can now take a 31-pin lead if his partner Ringener can strike in the 9th.
Holding his head, leaving the 2-5. He was lucky.
You're right, Chris. It could have had worse. As Jill Ringener, who has worked for the PBA part-time and rooting her husband on to a potential final round, championship round, if they can win this game, needs to make the 2-5 spare to keep the commanding lead. The D'Entremont Thayer group, they have a possible 202. Their opponents, Ringener, Hoskins, going at 203. It will come down to the 10th frame. Let's see what happens.
we have 4 players in this match yet to win a PBA title.
Right now, Mark Thayer up for the biggest shot of his PBA career. He needs to throw a couple of strikes to put this match within reach. 10th frame.
We've seen him do that before. Any chance of a tie, Bo?
No problem. If he can throw another 2 strikes and then Ringner Hoskins get 19 in the 10th frame, it'd be a 2-0-2 tie. Thayer has saved his best for the 10th frame, but he needs 1 more to get it right down to a 1-pin margin. The other team discussing strategy says, hey, Pards, we need some strikes here if he strikes on this ball.
No. Yep. I didn't think it had a chance. Neither did he.
Chris, that was a combination of 2 mistakes finally working out well for Mark Thayer, who's been kind of unlucky in the championship round before. He's had some big scores shot against him. Pete Weber shot 289 to beat him out of the U.S. Open. Now he has a chance to go on to the final. A strike here would cut their opponent's lead to down 1 pin. Hoskins would be up in the 10th.
Mark Thayer, Lafayette, Indiana, coming through at the end. He and his teammate, David DeEntremont, shooting a 2-0-2. Excitement.
Steve Hoskins must strike on this ball and spare to win it outright. If he gets 9 spare strike, we have a tie. Anything less, he loses. Great shot there, Chris. He puts himself in a position where a strike or a spare wins the match. 9, an open frame 9 would be a tie. An open frame 8 would be a loser. Admittedly, this young man is nervous under pressure, but he sure performed last night when he needed it. He threw 2 strikes in the 10th frame to get his team to 2nd. Now he can give him a chance to bowl for the title.
Oh, that former Rookie of the Year, 1989, Steve Hoskins. Okay, Hoskins and Ringner. Here is Hoskins now shooting from left to center. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Ford Trucks. The best never rests.
Look, everybody knows our full-size pickup's priced less than Chevy, right? Mm-hmm. That's just for starters. This study shows the F-150 will cost less to operate. And look, it'll hold its value better than Chevy. It's more than a good truck. It's a good investment.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
Man, no better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. 'Cause the AM surely is my favorite time.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for: to prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. Man, no better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Who won the first Super Bowl? Green Bay Packers. You know everything in the world. You're like encyclopedias.
Who was the Prime Minister of England during the Second World War?
Phone Up with Coach, Tuesday.
I'll look it up.
Guys, doesn't get any better than this.
Doug Patterson was wrong, because when the shark fin started playing, it got somewhat better. And when the Swedish bikini team came surfing by, it got a little better. And when the treasure chest of old Milwaukee washed ashore, it most certainly got better. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It just doesn't get any better than this.
Jim Tishy, weeknights at 5:30 on 24 Newswatch.
From TV1 in New York, here's Frank Gifford.
We'll return to today's final match in a moment, but a reminder coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the network premiere of the controversial heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddy. Plus, we'll have same-day coverage for you of the Advil Mini Marathon from New York City's Central Park. Okay, let's go back to Chris Schenkel. Chris?
In our first match of the afternoon, big game by Mike Albee and Steve Cook, 268, eliminating Dave Ferraro and Tony Westlake. Then Mark Thayer and Dave DeEntremont came in and eliminated Albee and Cook, 246 to 206. So, 3 matches and 3 different winners. Ringener and Hoskins, 213 to 202. 8 strikes with the 213. And now we go into the final match where it's $28,000 to the team that wins. Be a tough battle.
You're right, Chris. And the winner of this match gets a ride in the Firestone Champions, Tournament Champions. Both players qualify. And next week, obviously, we have the seniors. Dick Weber will be there, Carmen Salvino, Dave Sutar, all the great players. And Earl Anthony says he's really keying for it. So we'll see how he does. And we had a big field this week, 60 teams, duos. Look at that average game, 221, 225 to make the top 24. Here's how the other teams finish. Look at some of your great stars there. Sullins and Williams, Oaks and Granger in 7th place. Duke and Warren. Peterson and Kreitz. Randy Peterson just getting married. Congratulations. Joe Furpro, Brian LeClaire, Ken Johnson, Lawrence doing some fishing. Picked up $3,000. Fraley and Yoder now bowled fairly well. McClure and Ray Edwards, 2,600. Bob Glass just got his doctorate in economics from University of Kansas. Congratulations. And the new winners, Pensek Baker, Mark Williams, and Kelly Kaufman. Smith and Kemp, Berardi and Moser, familiar names, 19th place. Taylor and Tilton, Californians, Conrad and Kretzer, 21st, $1,800. Seeley and Lambert, 22nd. And another Williams, the brother of Mark Williams, Ray Smith and Gonzalez round out the top 24. 25 places were paid. The championship match up for grabs right now, Chris.
And you mentioned Mark Williams, and he had a lot to do with bringing this event to his hometown. Mark, a great Firestone winner. He deserves a big pat on the back. And
you're right, Chris, and it's interesting. There are 3 Firestone winners that live in the Beaumont area. Wayne Webb and Mark Williams, Firestone champions.
And Del Ballard. What a champion he has been. Won the Firestone in '89, ABC Masters in '88, and the U.S. Open in 1987.
The 2-4-10, tough way to start a championship match, and finishing out the 3 Firestone champions that have been in this area. David Ozio lives in this area. Here's what he has to do. Get that ball in a 2-4 zone, drive that 2-pin into the 10. It'd be important to start the championship match off with a mark.
All right, so we have an open frame, and that was sort of a miss by a mile, wasn't it?
You bet, partner. That was a sign of never bowling for a title or never been in the championship match or winner's circle. These 2 players are really under the gun against proven champions. Now, Ringener's 2nd frame.
But teamwork. His partner coming back with a powerful strike.
Well, I think for Hoskins and Ringener to stay in this match, one of them's going to have to strike every single time to keep the team in the match. Benoit and Ballard, I don't look for them to make any mistakes. They've won a lot of titles, they've done a lot of great things, and they came to win. They're going to be tough.
Well, Bob Benoit. Del Ballard, a bridegroom.
And if now they're not tough enough, they get a great break as Benoit sends it wide on the right-hand lane, which most of the players have struggled on today. And watch that head pin twist in behind and take out the 2 and 8. A terrific break. Let's see if Ballard can capitalize.
Oh, boy. And there is the bride. Kelly McGregor and Dad. Okay, speaking of brides, there's one in Louisville tonight. Our colleague, Emily Deutsch, and Dominic Schmidt will be married tonight in Louisville. We wish them many, many years of happiness. The June bride, our colleague, Emily Deutsch. All right.
Hoskins recovers, and I think the man that can really make the difference here is going to be Philip Ringener. If Ringener can throw strikes, I think Hoskins has proven that he can strike. He was there in the clutch when he needed it in the semifinal, and he's been throwing a lot of strikes all week. Key, frame.
Very, very powerful and cheerleading led by Steve Hoskins, his partner. We'll be back. Final match following these words.
Why are beers that go down lightly watered down so heavily? Why? Ask why. Turn off the water and turn Bud Dry. Its smooth draft taste is dry brewed, not watered down. To drink light, yet satisfied completely. So why get soaked when you can drink Bud Dry?
It's not easy to pull yourself away from a bowl of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. For 2 scoops of raisins taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave them behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good to pull yourself away. 2 scoops of raisins, golden flakes of bran. Get every bite you can of those 2 scoops that taste too good to pull yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops.
Today, we're in Beaumont. A week from today, the finals of the PBA Senior Invitational from Showboat. And then in 2 weeks...
2 weeks from now, we'll be in Seattle as you see Kim and Mark Williams. Mark from the Beaumont area, former Firestone champion, was really instrumental in putting this tournament together. Congratulations.
Ah, yes.
And after we bowl in Seattle on the 22nd, we'll be in Portland on the 29th of June. So this match has been perfect so far, as predicted by Benoit. They have started with 4 in a row, possible 300 game.
Northwest is nearly perfect, too.
Knock him over, baby.
Wired for sound, Del Ballard.
Del Ballard just got married 2 weeks ago to the former Kelly McGregor. He has bowled 6 tournaments in those past 2 weeks, Chris. 1 win, 2 seconds, and a possible 3rd win. Quite a honeymoon, huh, Kelly? Living in a bowling center, making money. Not so bad.
It's tough out here. Lonely at the top.
Hoskins gets a bad break there. With that powerful ball of his, he should strike almost every time. A quote that he gave me in Atlantic City 2 years ago when he led the tournament, he says, "I know that I don't have to be as accurate as most players because of my strike power." Well, he needed a little extra of that particular shot.
He did it.
Ringener, who is bowling better than ever, experienced player out here now, has lost 42 pounds through a conditioning program in the last year, and he looks sharp on the lanes. Right now, 6 frame, trails by 34.
4-9.
Trouble. They're trailing by 34. They've got a pocket split. He needs to get the ball over in the 4-pin zone, slide it over into the 9-pin. Here's how to do it. Get the ball over by the 4, slide it in a 9. If he can convert it like this, they'll trail only by 34. If he misses, it'll be worse. as my little boy Brett says, that ain't so bad. He made it when he needed it. Right there, the 4-9. But right now, Ballard and Benoit perfect through 5.
Dell was off his chair on that one.
Well, Benoit with that soft speed probably throws the ball as slow as any top player on the tour today, somewhere around 15 or 16 miles an hour, and his partner Del Ballard Jr. calls it the turtle ball that his partner throws, but they're in command of this match.
Okay. As we mentioned, we'll be in Las Vegas next week, and the general manager of Showboat, Jack Cook, his dad is here. Quite a musician, organ and piano. Came out here to watch the bowlers in the hometown of Beaumont.
Make a flip. Yeah.
And Del Ballard Sr.
Here's a shot that we see Del Ballard play very often. Remember about 8 weeks ago, he sent it 2 boards wider than that on the fill ball and handed the tournament to Pete Weber. Not going to happen today. Now, Hoskins and Ringner must strike 7th frame.
Five foot 5 and powerful.
Here's the big shot so far in the match for this team. Now, Ringner has struggled a little bit in both matches. He needs to get a strike here. He's a pretty standard player. He stands in the middle. He's going to slide here. He's going to whip that ball right over about the second arrow or just a pinch outside of it. Needs to strike. Big shot. Bad break there. The 10-pin, their team could have shot 244, but the best they can do now is 224 with a conversion here. Right now, the Ballard-Benoit duo going at a 239 pace. Chris, it's going to take a miracle for the players who have never seen the winner's circle so far, Ringner and Hoskins.
Mm-hmm. 28,000 to the winning team, 14,500 to the runners-up.
Flip, flip. Yeah.
Now, Del Ballard, at whom we're looking, is wearing a wireless mic. Bob Benoit is not. Humble guy, he's got a powerful set of pipes.
Ballard's almost in that position where he's got to think, don't throw it in the gutter. Can't throw it. Watch the cupped wrist, the good hand action underneath it.
All right, wrinkle, baby. Give me 9, give me 9, give me 9.
To 220. As Kelly Ballard, the newlywed, looks on, she's watching her husband almost take a victory lap right here, Chris, because they're going at a 248 pace. He makes this spare. It's Lock City.
Yeah, baby.
Two Texans having fun.
Hey, man.
They're going to the bank.
Del has earned 61,000 this year. And his partner, 71,000.
Well, that Benoit Ballard duo is a very tough duo, but this 2 young players here, especially Hoskins, they have a good future, and you said that Hoskins is going to combine school with bowling, and I think that's the right way to do it. He can make some money out here during his college days and bowl part-time. That's the way to do it.
First time our telecast has originated bowling in Beaumont, Texas. Several years ago, Bo, came here to announce the United States National Amateur Boxing Championships.
And being from St. Louis, we keep up with that because some of the best boxers, even this year, are from the St. Louis area. We field quite a number of players on that team from my area.
Of course, coming here, Bo, one of the real worthwhile things was seeing the museum dedicated to the memory of Babe Didrikson Zaharias. Texas has produced so many great champions.
And there's two Texas champions right there, winners of the Beaumont Doubles Classic.
Down the middle.
Oh, listen to this. Kind of a sarcastic mark, down the middle. Look at this. Boy, it's nice when you can go to the 10th frame, Chris, and Del Ballard has the last two opportunities gone to the 10th frame, and all he has to do is throw it down the middle. Pin count means nothing. Great champions.
There they are. Ballard and Benoit sort of play out the old saying that if it isn't fun, what is it? Yes, they have won their big doubles championship here in their home state of Texas, 243 to 200. Let's go back to New York. Here's Frank Gifford.
Thank you very much, Chris. And coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the network premiere of the controversial heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddy. Plus, we'll have same-day coverage of the mini marathon, the Advil mini marathon, right in New York Central Park. You'll see that coming up on Wide World of Sports, so stay with us.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. 5 minutes.
Here's news. If your athlete's foot won't go away, you could have more than athlete's foot. You could have a secondary yeast infection. That's right, yeast.
Only Mycotin cures both athlete's foot and secondary yeast infections with Myconazole. Step up to the Mycotin.
With the chalky taste of some antacids, it can seem that the cure is worse than the pain. Introducing new Mylanta Cherry and Cool Mint Creams, the best tasting antacids, blended creamier for a non-chalky taste.
No wonder my doctor said Mylanta.
Dear Thompson,
Honey, I ran out of...
midway through waterproofing our new deck, I ran out of Thompson's water seal and finished with another brand. 2 days later, it rained. It was amazing.
Wow.
You could actually see the Thompson side working. The other side looked like I hadn't used a thing.
Thompson's Water Seal has 50% more active ingredients than most brands for more waterproofing power.
You can see the difference. For my money, nothing tops Thompson's. And I proved it. Sincerely, Marcia Jackalone, Bassett, Wisconsin.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. 5 minutes.
Well, the eyes of Texas and in Beaumont are on the victors. Hook 'em horns, okay. So 28,000 for the Texans, and for the runners-up, 14,500 and so on down the line. Do you have any fun doing this today, guys?
Oh, I had a blast. You just can't beat bowling on TV, especially with this guy. You know, he's always going to keep you loose, and crowds behind us. I mean, you can't beat it.
I had a great time this week. I rode Dell all week. He made a good horse, and I fed him plenty of oats and hay, and I said, get ready, Flicka, because I'm riding you all week.
Well, you got a little seed money to go into the paint, body shop, muscle car business if you ever decide to do it as a partnership.
Well, the way I bowl some weeks, I've even considered working for Domino's, delivering pizzas.
Well, that's the best commercial I've heard, coast to coast. Guess who's going to get a contract? Congratulations, bridegroom.
Oh, thank you. I got married 2 weeks ago, and people have always said that, you know, once you get married, you got to watch out. You won't bowl in there as good, but, hey, I tell you, it came through for me today.
Well, come here, Kelly. We want Kelly to come out here and Stand between these. Lots of happiness.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's get to the spoils of victory. Let's get really down to business here. Bud Leonard, who is chairman of the Beaumont Convention Bureau, and Frank Northrup, longtime friend, used to be on the tour. He's the general manager here. He has the check, and Bud has the trophy. So go to work, men.
How about the trophies first? Congratulations, gentlemen, on behalf of the Beaumont Convention and Visitors Bureau and the city of Beaumont. Proud of you. Hope to see you back, gentlemen.
We'll definitely.
Okay, here's Frank.
On behalf of the Beaumont bowling fans and in the surrounding area, all the sponsors and all the volunteers that made this possible, congratulations on being our first champions. Good luck next year, and hope to see y'all.
Great. I'd like to thank everybody here at Crossroads. I mean, this is the best crowd. They treated me great all week. I heard a little rock and roll last night, and it definitely helped me out. Thanks.
I'd like to thank Beaumont Convention Bureau and Bud for sponsoring this tournament, and Frank did a great job this week, and all you fans were perfect. Thank you.
There are great fans there. So for Nelson Britton, we'll see you next week. I'm Chris Schenkel. Thank you. The executive producer of ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour is Jack O'Hara. Produced by Carol Levy. Directed by Larry Camp. Technical Director, Michael Carmen. Associate Director, Manny Cabral. Technical Operations Manager, Les Weiss. Assistant to the producer, Chris Schachter.
The Professional Bowlers Spring Tour has been brought to you by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And by Thompson's, the brand to trust for all your waterproofing needs. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines.